Well, hello, we're with Dr Margareta Groth from VINNOVA. VINNOVA is a research council based in Sweden, and you're tasked with increasing the competitiveness and research quality, I suppose, of companies in Sweden. Dr Groth, can you tell me a little bit about how the research to market chain, in terms of the efficiency of that chain, differs between the UK and Sweden?
That's an interesting question. I think it differs in several areas. Our country is much smaller, so we have a smaller home base, and but sometimes we also have early adopters and a small market where you can reach some niches. But as for the mass exploitation, I think UK has perhaps a better conditions. So it differs in different parts of the chain.
Which is reflected by the industrial base of Sweden, where I suppose, you tell me, but there are several very large companies, and probably the majority, a little bit like the UK, is very much an SME, small and medium-sized business base. But you were saying in your presentation that these perhaps 10 to 20 multinational companies like IKEA, Volvo, Saab, are very important for the manufacturing base to drive exports. How does that work?
Well, of course, they are the large exporters, but they are also the people or the companies that buy from the SMEs and try to internationalize them. Also, the large manufacturing companies are investing heavily in R&D in Sweden, both within their own companies, but also into the public structure at the universities, at the institutes. So, therefore, they're important drivers for the technology development. So.
And when you talk about the investment from large companies through the supply chain and engagement with universities too, what would you say qualitatively about the comparison with the UK? Is it a more efficient process? Is more of the money transferred to the SME base more efficiently? What are the similarities?
I think the similarities are, my experience from the UK is that you can have very good connections between companies and universities. Cranfield is a good example where industry meets academia. However, in Sweden, my experience is that companies work more together with each other and then with academia. So, for example, Volvo Trucks and Scania might do a joint research project with one university. And my experience is that in the UK you have one company and one research group, not that several companies team up. And from that point of view, the company's monies are used more efficient. So, nice.
It's interesting that perhaps this is reflective of the Scandinavian sort of inclusive type of society, but a company like Volvo and Scania, two very direct competitors, are operating at that level in unison. I mean, is it simply the case that it's a cultural difference?
Well, it's taken some years to get there. Among other things, by them working together in public research programs, and after a couple of years, they trust each other, and they have also been able to identify what's pre-competitive, and then they can join forces on those issues, but not more commercial issues. So.
And Dr. Groth, you used to live and work in the UK, so you've seen both sides of the technology exploitation curve, I suppose, or roadmap. What are the other things that have really stood out for you in terms of comparing the two countries on that technology roadmap? For me,
I believe that UK is more open for cross-sectoral collaboration, and that academics, say in manufacturing, are no strangers to apply their skills in, say, the medical sector or some other sectors, while in Sweden, manufacturing researchers especially tend to stay in their sector, the automotive, the mechanical, and so on. And I think if we could do a little bit of what you do, trying to branch out to other sectors, that would be good.
Engineering academics in the UK are a little bit more multidisciplinary than...
Yeah, especially when it comes to apply their knowledge, because within their research discipline they're very, very good and very focused. So, but they have the the ability to transfer that to other sectors.
They sort of have a less prescribed
Yes.
job description.
Yes.
And what about on the other side, where perhaps Sweden has a competitive advantage over UK in terms of this collaboration between universities and business?
There I would say that belongs a lot to the culture in Scandinavia, that cooperation is natural, but also that the country is so small, so you will probably know someone somewhere, always, all the time. So, and that trust is what is the base for cooperation. So.
Sometimes it's useful to be a small country,
yes.
relatively speaking. Well, Dr Margareta Groth from VINNOVA, thank you very much.
Thank you.